A Senior Citizen Organization Guide. Chapter 1. A list of older people organizations. A list of older people organizations. AARP. 601 E St. N.W. Washington, D.C. 20049. 888-687-2277 toll-free. 877-434-7598 TTY. Members at aarp.org. aarp.org. Administration for Community Living. 330 C St. S.W. Washington, D.C. 20201. 800-677-1116 toll-free, Eldercare Locator. 202-401-4634. aclinfo@acl.hhs.gov. acl.gov. Alzheimer's Foundation of America. 322 8th Avenue 16th FL. New York, New York 10001. 866-232-8484 toll-free helpline. info@alzfdn.org. alzfdn.org. American Academy of Audiology. 11480 Commerce Park Drive Suite 220. Reston, Virginia 20191. 703-790-8466. Audiology.org. Alzheimer's Association. 225 North Michigan Avenue Floor 17. Chicago, Illinois 60601 7633. 800-272-3900 toll-free national helpline. 866-403-3073 TDD national helpline. alz.org. American Academy of Ophthalmology. PO Box 7424, San Francisco, California 94120-7424. 415-561-8500. aao.org. aao.org. American Foundation for the Blind, AFB. AFB Headquarters. 1401 South Clark St. Suite 730. Arlington, Virginia 22202. 212-502-7600. info@afb.net. afb.org. American Macular Degeneration Foundation. PO Box 515, Northampton, Massachusetts 01061-0515. 888-622-8527 toll-free. 413-268-7660. Macular.org. American Optometric Association. 1505 Prince St. Suite 300. Alexandria, Virginia 22314-2874. 800-365-2219 toll-free. 703-739-9200. AOA.org. American Printing House for the Blind, Inc. 1839 Frankfort Avenue. Louisville, Kentucky 40206-0085. 800-223-1839 toll-free. 502-895-2405. aph.org. American Psychological Association. 750 First St. Northeast. Washington, D.C. 20002-4242. 800-374-2721 toll-free. 202-336-5500. 202-336-6123 TTY. apa.org. Bright Focus Foundation. 22512 Gateway Center Drive. Clarksburg, Maryland 20871. 800-437-2423 toll-free. info@brightfocus.org. brightfocus.org. Caregiver Action Network. 1130 Connecticut Avenue. NW, STE 501. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-454-3970. info@caregiveraction.org. caregiveraction.org. Catholic Charities USA. 2050 Ballinger Avenue. STE 400. Alexandria, Virginia 22314. 703-549-1390. CatholicCharitySUSA.org. Center for Medicare Advocacy, Washington, D.C. Office. 1025 Connecticut Avenue. NW, STE 709. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-293-5760. MedicareAdvocacy.org. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 1600 Clifton Road. NE. Atlanta, Georgia 30329. 800-232-4636 toll-free. cdc.gov. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. 7500 Security Boulevard. Baltimore, Maryland 21244. 800-633-4227 toll-free. cms.gov. Consumer Reports. 101 Truman Avenue. Yonkers, New York 10703. 800-333-0663 toll-free. ConsumerReports.org. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Mail a complaint. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. P.O. Box 2900. Clinton, Iowa 52733-2900. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. 1700 G St. N.W. Washington, D.C. 20552. 855-411-2372 toll-free. 855-729-2372 TTY/TDD. Whistleblower at consumerfinance.gov. consumerfinance.gov. Cornea Research Foundation of America. 9002 North Meridian St. Suite 212. Indianapolis, Indiana 46260. 317-814-2993. Cornea.org. Council of Better Business Bureaus. Better Business Bureau. 1411 K Street, NW Suite 1000. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-393-8000. 202-393-1198 fax. info@mybbb.org. bbb.org. Democrat Office. 628 Hart Senate Office Building. Washington, D.C. 20510. 202-224-0185. 202-224-9920 fax. 855-303-9470 toll-free fraud hotline. aging.senate.gov. Department of Health and Human Services. 200 Independence Avenue. SW. Washington, D.C. 20201. 877-696-6775 toll-free. hhs.gov. Department of Housing and Urban Development. 451 7th St. Southwest. Washington, D.C. 20410. 202-708-1112. 202-708-1455 TTY. HUD.gov. Department of Labor. Employment and Training Administration. Senior Community Service Employment Program. 866-487-2365 toll-free. dol.gov/agencies/eta/seniors. Department of Energy. James V. Forestal Building. 1000 Independence Avenue. SW. Washington, D.C. 20585. 202-586-5000. Energy.gov. Eldercare Locator. 800-677-1116 toll-free. eldercare.acl.gov/public/index.aspx. Experience Works. PO Box 5004, Severna Park, Maryland 21146-9919. 703-522-7272. 866-397-9757 toll free. experienceworks.org. Family Caregiver Alliance. 101 Montgomery St. Suite 2150. San Francisco, California 94104. 415-434-3388. 800-445-8106. Caregiver.org. Federal Trade Commission. 600 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW. Washington, D.C. 20580. 202-326-2222. Reportfraud.ftc.gov external, report fraud. Identitytheft.gov external, report identity theft. donotcall.gov external, report unwanted calls. ftc.gov. Federal Housing Finance Agency. Office of Inspector General. 400 7th St. Southwest, Washington, D.C. 20219. 202-730-0880. FHFAOIG.gov. Federal Bureau of Investigation. FBI.gov/scams-and-safety. Feeding America. 161 North Clark St. Suite 700. Chicago, Illinois 60601. 800-771-2303 toll free. Feedingamerica.org. Food Research and Action Center. 1200 18th St. Northwest Suite 400. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-986-2200. 202-986-2525. Frasi.org. Glaucoma Research Foundation. 251 Post St. Suite 600. San Francisco, California 94108. 415-986-3162. 800-826-6693 toll free. Question@glaucoma.org. Glaucoma.org. Hadley Institute for the Blind and Visually Impaired. 700 Elm St. Winnetka, Illinois 60093. 800-323-4238 toll free. info@hadley.edu. Hadley.edu. Health Resources and Services Administration. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. 5600 Fishers Lane, Rockville, Maryland 20857. 877-464-4772 toll free. 877-897-9910 TTY. HRSA.gov. Internal Revenue Service. 1111 Constitution Avenue, NW. Washington, D.C. 20224. 800-829-1040 toll free. 800-829-4049 TTD. IRS.gov. Justice in Aging. 1444 IST Northwest Suite 1100. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-289-6976. JusticeInAging.org. Leonard Davis School of Gerontology. 3715 McClintock Avenue, Los Angeles, California 90089. info@stopfalls.org. Stopfalls.org. Lighthouse Guild. 250 W 64th St. New York, New York 10023. 800-284-4422 toll free. 800-284-4422 TTY 711. Lighthouseguild.org. Lions Club International Foundation. 300 W 22nd St. Oak Brook, Illinois 60523. 630-571-5466. Lionsclubs.org. Local Harvest. P.O. Box 1292, Santa Cruz, California 95061. 831-515-5602. Localharvest.org. Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Washington, D.C. 20201. 202-401-9351. acf.hhs.gov/ocs/programs/LEHEAP. Macular Degeneration Partnership. The Gavin Herbert Eye Institute. University of California, Irvine. 850 Health Sciences Road. Irvine, California 92697-4375. 949-824-9771. tnyoung@hs.uci.edu. amd.org. Macular Degeneration Foundation. PO Box 531313, Henderson, Nevada 89053. 888-633-3937 toll-free. eyesight.org. Meals on Wheels America. 1550 Crystal Drive Suite 1004. Arlington, Virginia 22202. 888-998-6325 toll-free. 703-548-5274 fax. mealsonwheelsamerica.org. Medicare Rights Center. 266 W 37th St, 3rd FL. New York, New York 10018. 212-869-3850. 212-869-3532 fax. 1444 I St. NW, STE 1105. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-637-0961. 202-637-0962 fax. National Helpline. 800-333-4114 toll-free. info@medicareights.org. medicareights.org. MIT Age Lab. 1 Amherst Street, 2nd floor. Cambridge, Massachusetts 02142. 617-253-0753. agelabinfo@mit.edu. agelab.mit.edu. National Adult Protective Services Association. 1612 K St. NW No. 200. Washington, D.C. 20006. 202-370-6292. napsa-now.org. National Association of Area Agencies on Aging, N4A. 1100 New Jersey Avenue. SE, STE 350. Washington, D.C. 20003. 202-872-0888. 202-872-0057 fax. info@n4a.org. n4a.org. National Association of Nutrition and Aging Services Programs. 1612 KST, NW, STE 200. Washington, D.C. 20006. 202-682-6899. 202-223-2099 fax. P. Carlson@nanasp.org. nanasp.org. National Center for Assisted Living. 1201 L St. NW. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-842-4444. 202-842-3860 fax. aukencal.org/assisted-living/pages/default.aspx. National Center on Elder Abuse. C/O University of Southern California Keck School of Medicine. Department of Family Medicine and Geriatrics. 1000 South Fremont Avenue Unit 22 Building. A6. Alhambra, California 91803. 855-500-3537 toll-free. ncea-info@aoa.hhs.gov. ncea.acl.gov National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. 111K St. Neste 700. Washington, D.C. 20002. 202-216-0420. 202-216-0446 fax. 800-998-0180 toll-free senior hotline / legislative updates. 800-966-1935 toll-free member services. ncpssm.org. National Conference of State Legislatures. Denver. 7700 East 1st Place. Denver, Colorado 80230. 303-364-7700. 303-364-7800 fax. National Organization for Rare Disorders. National Headquarters, CT Office. 55 Kenosha Avenue. Danbury, Connecticut 06810. 203-744-0100. 203-263-9938 fax. Washington, D.C. Office. 1779 Massachusetts Avenue Suite 500. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-588-5700. 202-588-5701 fax. Massachusetts Office. 1900 Crown Colony Drive Suite 310. Quincy, Massachusetts 02169. 617-249-7300. 617-249-7301 fax. Patient Call Center. 800-999-6673 toll-free. RareDiseases.org. National Consumers League. 1701K St. NW, STE 1200. Washington, D.C. 20006. 202-835-3323. info@nclnet.org. fraud.org. National Council on Aging. 251 18th St. South Suite 500. Arlington, Virginia 22202. 571-527-3900. NCOA.org. National Eye Institute. Information Office. 31 Center Drive, MSC 2510. Bethesda, Maryland 20892-2510. 301-496-5248. 2020@nei.nih.gov. nei.nih.gov. National Federation of the Blind. 200 East Wells St. Baltimore, Maryland 21230. 866-504-7300 toll-free for NFB Newsline. 410-659-9314. 410-685-5653 fax. nfb.org. National Hispanic Council on Aging. 2201 12th St. Northwest Suite 101. Washington, D.C. 20009. 202-347-9733. 202-347-9735 fax. nhcoa.org. National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization. 1731 King St. Alexandria, Virginia 22314. 703-837-1500. 703-837-1233 fax. nhpco.org. National Institute of Mental Health. 6001 Executive Boulevard, Room 6200, MSC 9663. Bethesda, Maryland 20892-9663. 866-615-6464 toll-free. 866-415-8051 toll-free TTY. NIMHinfo@nih.gov. nimh.nih.gov. National Institute on Aging. Building 31, Room 5C27. 31, Center Drive MSC 2292. Bethesda, Maryland 20892. 800-222-2225 toll-free. 800-222-4225 TTY. NIA-IC at nia.nih.gov. nia.nih.gov. National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders. NIDT Office of Health Communication and Public Liaison. 31, Center Drive MSC 2320. Bethesda, Maryland 20892-2320. 800-241-1044 toll-free. 800-241-1055 TTY. NIDCD info at nidcd.nih.gov. nidcd.nih.gov. National Institute on Drug Abuse. 3 WFN MSC 6024. 301 North Stone Street Avenue. Bethesda, Maryland 20892. 301-443-1124. drugabuse.gov. National Library of Medicine. 8600 Rockville Pike. Bethesda, Maryland 20894. 888-346-3656 toll-free. 800-735-2258 TDD. CUSD-serve at nlm.nih.gov. nlm.nih.gov. National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. Library of Congress. 1291 Taylor St. Northwest. Washington, D.C. 20542-4962. 202-707-5100. 202-707-0721 fax. 800-424-8567 toll-free. NLS at loc.gov. loc.gov/NLS. National Long-Term Care Ombudsman Resource Center. 1001 Connecticut Avenue. NW, STE 632. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-332-2275. 202-332-2949 fax. OMBUD Center at theconsumervoice.org. ltcombudsman.org. National Older Worker Career Center. NOWUC National Headquarters. 3811 North Fairfax Drive Suite 900. Arlington, Virginia 22203. 705-558-4200. Info at nowcc.org. nowcc.org. Perkins School for the Blind. 175 North Beacon St. Watertown, Massachusetts 02472. perkinseLearning.org/scout. Social Security Administration. Office of Public Inquiries. 1100 West High Rise. 6401 Security Boulevard. Baltimore, Maryland 21235. 800-772-1213 toll-free. 800-325-0778 TTY. SSA.gov. State Health Insurance Assistance Programs. SHIP National Technical Assistance Center. Northeast Iowa Area Agency on Aging. 3840 West 9th St. Waterloo, Iowa 50702. 877-839-2675 toll-free. Info at shiptacenter.org. shiptacenter.org. The Gerontological Society of America. 1220 L St. N.W., STE 901. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-842-1275. Geron.org. United Way. 2-1-1 toll-free. 211.org. United States Senate Special Committee on Aging. Republican Office. G31 Dirksen Senate Office Building. Washington, D.C. 20510. 202-224-5364. 202-224-8660 fax. Veterans Health Administration. 810 Vermont Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C. 20420. 844-698-2311. 800-827-1000 toll-free benefits. 877-222-8387 toll-free healthcare. va.gov. Village to Village Network. 4818 Washington Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri 63108. 617-299-9638. 866-457-2582 toll-free. VTV@vtvnetwork.org. vtvnetwork.org